Ethan Cole had never been on a first date that came with a contract, especially not one from an alien species. He was a 26-year-old xenobiologist from Earth, newly arrived at Harmony Reach, a giant space station floating in neutral space. It was a peaceful hub where hundreds of species met, traded, and shared knowledge. Ethan was excited. He had dreamed of studying alien life forms ever since he was a child, but he never imagined his first real intergalactic experience would be so confusing. Everything started when he received a formal invitation. It was shaped like a small glass card, glowing with soft blue light. The message said, "You have been selected for the Avori Cultural Pairing Dinner. Please attend in formal Earth attire." Ethan smiled when he read it. Cultural Pairing Dinner sounded harmless. He thought it was part of the regular diplomacy work, maybe just a meet-and-greet event. As a guest researcher from Earth, he often got invited to formal dinners, so he got dressed in his best clothes. A clean white shirt, black slacks, and polished shoes. Nothing fancy, but neat enough. At exactly 19:00 station time, he arrived at the Avori sector. The Avori were tall, silver-skinned beings with bright, glowing eyes and long, smooth hair that moved like waves. They were peaceful and very intelligent. Their people were known for their love of logic and advanced science. They also had a strict culture based on harmony, agreements, and deep respect. Ethan was guided into a quiet dining room with floating lights and soft music. The room smelled like warm flowers and fresh rain. In the center was a single table set for two. A tall Avori woman was waiting for him. "Greetings, Ethan Cole of Earth," she said in a calm, musical voice. "I am Larea. I have chosen to pair with you for tonight's ceremony." Ethan gave a nervous smile. Thanks. It's an honor to meet you, Larea." They sat down and were served a strange but tasty meal. The dishes were colorful and soft, made of alien plants and glowing fruits. As they ate, they talked about Earth, about Avori customs, and about the universe. Larea asked many questions about human emotions, relationships, and family. Ethan thought it was just friendly curiosity. He was even starting to enjoy himself, but something felt a little odd. Halfway through the meal, the lights dimmed and a quiet bell rang. Larea stood up and placed a small glowing crystal on the table. It shimmered in shades of pink and gold. "This," she said with a soft smile, "is your contract. Your DNA results were excellent. You are highly compatible for hybrid reproduction. I am honored to offer you this agreement." Ethan blinked. "I'm sorry. What contract?" he asked. Larea tilted her head, confused. "This is standard for Avori pairing dinners. If the compatibility is high and the social interaction is agreeable, the contract is offered. I thought you understood." "You mean you want to have kids with me?" Ethan asked, his voice cracking slightly. Larea nodded. "Yes. Our scientists believe human genetics could strengthen Avori lifespans and emotional balance. Your personal traits are also rare and valued. Your kindness and curiosity make you an ideal partner." Ethan coughed into his napkin. "Wow. Okay. I think there's been a misunderstanding." Larea sat back down, her silver eyes glowing, calmly. "Do humans not follow similar mating customs?" "Not exactly. We don't usually hand out contracts on the first date," he said, trying to stay polite. "We take time, get to know each other, build trust, have emotions involved." "Fascinating," Larea said, her tone genuinely interested. "You value emotional development before reproduction. That is inefficient, but beautiful in a way." Ethan laughed awkwardly. "Thanks, I think." She pushed the crystal toward him. "You may decline, of course, but I must inform you if you do, the council may still request your genetic sample for research. You are unique." Ethan's eyes widened. "Wait, the council wants my DNA too?" Larea nodded. "Earth humans are of great interest. You adapt faster than almost any known species. Some believe your DNA holds keys to solving ancient problems." Ethan leaned back in his chair, his head spinning. "I thought I was just coming to dinner." "You did," Larea said gently. "But now, the real invitation begins." He lay on the soft, floating bed in his room aboard Harmony Reach, staring at the glowing ceiling. His mind raced with thoughts from the strange dinner he had just experienced. A beautiful alien woman had offered him a contract to have children with her. And not just as a family plan, but as part of some interspecies genetic agreement. He had come to study aliens, not become part of a galactic breeding program. The next morning, Ethan walked into the Human Research Division, rubbing his tired eyes. His friend and fellow scientist, Aisha Patel, looked up from her datapad and smiled. "You look like someone who ate spoiled grolna fruit," she joked. Ethan sat down with a sigh. "Worse. I think I accidentally got engaged last night." Aisha blinked. "What?" He told her everything: the invitation, the dinner, the glowing crystal contract, and Lorea's offer. Aisha listened carefully, her smile fading into concern. "Ethan," she said slowly, "you went to an Avori pairing dinner. Didn't anyone tell you what that means?" "No," Ethan said. "I thought it was just a formal meal." Aisha sighed. "The Avori don't date like humans do. They don't have romance in the same way. When they invite someone to a pairing dinner, it's basically a proposal. If the dinner goes well, they offer a breeding contract. It's all very logical to them. They choose based on compatibility, not feelings." "So I was part of some kind of genetic job interview?" Ethan asked. "Pretty much." Ethan rubbed his forehead. "This is insane. I just answered questions and ate fruit. How is that enough to decide something so big?" "To them, it is," Aisha said. "They believe emotions cloud judgment. They study behavior, chemistry, speech, even micro-reactions during the meal. If everything aligns, they move forward." Ethan sighed. "I told her I wasn't ready. She said I could say no, but that the council might still want my DNA." Aisha's eyes widened. "Wait, the council is involved?" Ethan nodded. "Lorea said something about my genetics being special, that humans are adaptable, and the galaxy wants to study us." Aisha looked serious. "That's true. We've been hearing whispers for years. Human DNA is different. Some species think we're the missing link in their evolution plans." Ethan frowned. "That sounds like we're being treated like a science experiment." "Exactly," Aisha said, "which is why Earth only allowed limited contact with galactic science groups. But now that you've been personally chosen, things might move faster." Later that day, Ethan was called to a private chamber in the station's central dome. A soft voice greeted him as he entered. "Welcome, Ethan Cole." It was Lorea, again. She wore a long silver robe, and her glowing eyes looked calm but focused. "I wanted to make sure you are well," she said gently. "You left the dinner in confusion." Ethan nodded. "Thank you. I'm okay, just overwhelmed." Lorea tilted her head. "It is my fault. I assumed you understood our ways. I see now that humans are very different." "Yes," Ethan said, trying to smile. "For us, relationships involve time, trust, and feelings." "Feelings," Lorea repeated softly. "An unpredictable force. The Avori have studied emotion but never fully embraced it. You, however, seem to live by it." "It's part of being human," Ethan said. "We don't always make the most efficient choices, but sometimes that's where the beauty is." Lorea was quiet for a moment. Then she stepped closer. "You must know," she said. "Your DNA holds traits that are extremely rare. The Council believes your genetic structure could stabilize several fragile species. You may not see it, but you are important." Ethan stared at her. "But I didn't agree to be part of this. I came here to learn, not become a sample." Lorea nodded slowly. "You have the right to refuse, but others will not ask so politely. There are species who do not wait for permission." Just then, a soft tone beeped in the room. A small message appeared on a hollow screen nearby. "Incoming private transmission. Unidentified source." Ethan glanced at Lorea, who nodded. "You may read it." The message appeared. "Human, you are in danger. The Council is not telling you everything. Project Genesis is real. Your DNA is the key. Leave the station. Now. Ethan's heart skipped a beat. What's Project Genesis? Lariah looked troubled for the first time. A program once designed to create hybrid species with enhanced survival. It was shut down centuries ago. Dangerous, unstable. But now they want to start it again. Using me? Ethan asked. Possibly, Lariah said. That is why I offered you the contract. I wanted to protect you through formal union. If you are bonded, you cannot be used without your consent. Ethan's eyes narrowed. So that dinner was also a shield? Lariah nodded. Yes. I did not want to frighten you. But it seems things are moving faster than expected. Ethan Cole never thought his body would cause a political storm. But now, on Harmony Reach, he was no longer just a visitor. He had become a point of interest, a rare human with ideal DNA. After receiving the secret message about something called Project Genesis, Ethan started asking questions. Lariah had already confirmed it was real, an ancient project to create hybrid life forms. The idea had been stopped long ago, but now whispers said it was coming back, and this time they wanted Ethan to be the starting piece. He sat in a quiet garden dome on the station, trying to calm his thoughts. Flowers floated in midair, and alien birds sang strange but peaceful songs. Yet Ethan's mind felt far from peaceful. Footsteps approached. It was Aisha, his friend from Earth. I heard the news, she said, sitting beside him. You've become famous overnight. I didn't ask for this, Ethan said. I just wanted to study alien life, not become part of it. Aisha nodded. They ran a full genetic scan, didn't they? Yes, Ethan said. Without asking, Aisha sighed. That's not right. But I've seen your file now. Your DNA isn't just special, it's rare beyond belief. You have resistance to psionic stress, immunity to 2 known spaceborne viruses, and a xeno-affinity gene. Xeno-affinity? Ethan raised an eyebrow. It means your body adapts better to foreign biology, Aisha explained. It's like your immune system knows how to stay calm around alien cells. That kind of thing is almost unheard of. Ethan shook his head. So now I'm some kind of universal puzzle piece. Worse, Aisha said. You're a bargaining chip. Word is spreading. 3 species have already asked for partnership meetings with you. They want agreements, long-term ones. You mean breeding contracts? Aisha nodded slowly. In clean terms, yes. Ethan laughed without humor. I'm not going to become a galaxy-wide donor just because I was born with weird DNA. Good, Aisha said. Because some people on Earth would agree with you. We should be careful about how we share our biology. This could lead to trouble. Later that day, Ethan was summoned to a council chamber. The room was circular with floating seats for representatives of many species. Ethan stood at the center under a soft white light. A council member, a small green creature with many eyes, spoke first. Ethan Cole, we welcome you. Your recent analysis has opened great possibilities for peaceful cooperation. Another representative, tall and glass-like, added, several species wish to form biological partnerships. You would be well cared for. Honored. Ethan cleared his throat. I appreciate the attention, but I didn't agree to this. I'm not a tool, I'm a person. A soft murmur ran through the chamber. I came here to learn, Ethan continued, not to be passed around as a sample. You talk about peace and diplomacy, but you forget one thing, choice. Lariah stood up. Let the human speak. Ethan looked around the room. On Earth, we value freedom. Relationships mean something. Families are built on trust, not contracts. We may not be the most advanced species here, but we care. We feel. And that gives us strength. The room was silent. Then a new voice spoke. If the human refuses, we demand his DNA for science. Everyone turned. It was a delegate from the Kravari, large, insect-like beings with cold voices. Ethan stepped back. You'd take it by force? Kravari delegate didn't blink. For the good of all, yes. Larea moved quickly. Enough. Ethan Cole is under Avori protection. Any move against him will be seen as a hostile act. The room filled with noise, some arguing, some agreeing, some whispering in private channels. The council leader struck a bell to restore order. We will not allow threats, the leader said, but we must find a path forward. One that respects this human's rights and the needs of the galaxy. After the meeting, Ethan walked with Larea through the station's quiet halls. You didn't have to defend me, he said softly. I chose to, she replied. Because you are right. We have forgotten the power of choice. Your species reminds us of that. Ethan looked at her. Do you think this can end peacefully? Only if you speak, she said. Your voice matters now. Just then, Ethan received another message. This time it was from Earth. Return immediately. Galactic interest in human genetics is growing. We need to take control of the situation before it becomes dangerous. Ethan looked at Larea. They want me back. Will you go? I don't know yet, he said. But if I stay, I'm going to need allies. She nodded. Then you have one in me. Ethan Cole knew the galaxy was hiding something. Ever since the dinner with Larea, his life had changed. First he was offered a breeding contract. Then he was told his DNA could help save species across the stars. And now there were whispers of Project Genesis, a hidden program that had been shut down for being too dangerous. But what exactly was it, and why did it have something to do with him? Ethan sat in a private lab aboard Harmony Reach staring at his genetic report. Larea had helped him get access to the classified records. What he saw made his heart race. He wasn't just compatible. His DNA showed markers that weren't common in humans at all. Special genes, ancient, untouched for thousands of generations, were glowing on the screen like stars. A quiet voice interrupted his thoughts. You're not just part of the future. Ethan, Larea said as she entered the room. You may be part of the past too. Ethan looked up confused. What do you mean? Larea walked over and tapped a section of the report. These genetic markers, they don't come from Earth. Ethan blinked. Are you saying they're alien? More like forgotten, she replied. Long ago there was a theory. Some believed that many intelligent species in the galaxy came from the same root, an ancient civilization that seeded life on different planets. But there was no proof, until now. Ethan stared at the screen again. So humans, we might be descendants of something older? Yes, Larea said softly. And your DNA is the most complete piece we've ever found. You may carry the original code, the source. Ethan sat back, stunned. That's why everyone wants a piece of me. Larea nodded. Project Genesis was based on this same idea. The goal was to restore that ancient code, create hybrids, stronger, smarter, peaceful beings who could unite the galaxy. But something went wrong, Ethan said. Yes, she agreed. The early experiments were rushed. They created unstable life forms. Some didn't survive. Others became too aggressive. The project was shut down after a great loss. Ethan frowned. And now they want to try again. With me. They think your code is stable, Larea said. That it could fix what was broken. Ethan stood up and paced the room. This is too much. I came here to study, not to carry the future of the galaxy in my blood. Larea placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. You still have a choice, but others will not wait forever. Already, new messages are arriving. Just then, Aisha rushed into the lab holding a datapad. Ethan, you need to see this. She held out the pad. A message from Earth's Space Command flashed on the screen. Subject, urgent, unauthorized genetic transfer detected. Multiple requests for Ethan Cole's replication data intercepted. Prepare for return. Ethan's eyes widened. They're trying to copy my DNA? Aisha nodded. Someone hacked the research center and tried to send your genetic file to at least 4 different species. The council says it wasn't them. But we don't know who did it. Larea looked concerned. This confirms what I feared. Someone is moving in secret. They won't wait for your permission. Ethan sat down heavily. Then I have to do something. I won't let myself become a lab experiment, and I won't let them use my DNA without understanding what it truly means. Aisha leaned in. There's one more thing. I found a sealed document in the old Earth archives. It mentions something called the prime host theory. What's that? Ethan asked. It suggests that long ago there was one species meant to carry the original genetic key. That species would awaken something, an ancient signal or message left behind by the creators. Ethan felt a chill run down his spine. And you think I might be that host? Maybe not you, Aisha said. But your genes could unlock the truth. Suddenly, the lights flickered. A red alert rang through the lab. Security breach, Deck 7, multiple life signs. Unknown species detected. Larea turned sharply. They're here. Aisha grabbed Ethan's arm. We have to move, now. They rushed down the corridor as alarms echoed through the station. Station guards were already gathering, weapons, ready. In the distance, Ethan saw tall figures covered in black armor. He had never seen them before. They're not part of the council, Larea whispered. This is something darker. As they ducked into a hidden maintenance shaft, Ethan finally spoke. This isn't just about breeding contracts anymore, is it? No, Larea said, her eyes glowing softly. It's about who controls the future, and who holds the key to the past. The alarm kept ringing. Ethan Cole ran through the narrow service tunnels of Harmony Reach, his breath short and heart pounding. Beside him were Larea and Aisha. Behind them, danger followed. Strange soldiers in black armor, moving like shadows through the station. They weren't part of the council. They didn't wear badges, they didn't speak. Whoever they were, they had one goal, capture Ethan. Where do we go now? Ethan asked as they reached a ladder. There's a hidden lab on Deck 3, Larea said. It's not on public maps. It was built during the first version of Project Genesis. Ethan looked at her. Why would we go there? Because, she said seriously, it may be the only place with answers. They climbed quickly. The sound of footsteps echoed below them. One of the black-armored soldiers spotted them. A beam of blue energy shot past Ethan's head. Hurry! Aisha shouted. They reached Deck 3 and slipped behind a steel wall panel. The old lab was dark and dusty. Machines stood like metal skeletons. Holograms blinked weakly. Symbols from dozens of alien languages covered the walls. This place feels forgotten, Ethan whispered. It was shut down long ago, Larea said. But some data may still be here. They activated a terminal. After a few minutes of typing and unlocking files, Larea found something shocking. Ethan, she said. Look at this. On the screen was a 3D model of a human body, but it wasn't just any model, it was him. Exact height, features, even his DNA sequence. Why is this here? Ethan asked. This lab scanned hundreds of species, Larea said. But your scan was added just days ago. Someone accessed this place without permission. They've already been working on your code. Aisha scrolled through the data. They've begun a cloning process. They want to make copies of you. Ethan felt cold. That's not just science, that's theft. And worse, Larea said. If they clone you, they don't need you anymore. Suddenly, a blast shook the wall. The armored soldiers had found them. Back entrance, Larea shouted. They ran again, slipping through a small emergency tunnel. As they moved, Aisha whispered, We have to get this information off the station. But how? Ethan asked. We can't even reach the launch bay. Larea thought for a moment. There's an old communication tower above the observatory dome. If we reach it, we can send a secure message to Earth Command. And if they intercept it? Aisha asked. They won't, Larea replied. Not if I use the Avoria encryption code. They climbed again, this time up a long shaft that led to the top of the station. Outside the thick glass, stars burned bright and silent. Ethan had never felt more far from home. They reached the tower. Inside was an old console, dusty but still working. Set it up, Larea said to Aisha. Send everything, the clone data, the tracking logs, the genetic reports. Ethan stood at the window watching the stars. They'll keep coming, won't they? Yes, Larea said softly. Your DNA holds more than power. It holds a link to something the galaxy lost long ago. Ethan turned. The ancient code? She nodded. Some believe it can awaken a message from the creators. And others? Ethan asked. They believe it can be used to control. Aisha finished the transmission. It's done. Earth will get it in under 5 minutes. But they didn't have 5 minutes. The door burst open. 3 black-armored soldiers stepped in, weapons raised. Their leader, taller than the others, took off his helmet. His skin was silver, his eyes glowing red. You don't understand what you carry, human, the leader said calmly. You are not just one person. You are the key to reshaping the stars. Ethan stepped forward. Not if I say no. The soldier smiled. That's the thing about keys. They don't get to choose which door they open. Larea suddenly moved, lifting her hand. A blast of blue energy burst from her palm, knocking the soldiers back. Run! She shouted. They rushed through the emergency hatch and climbed into a small maintenance ship docked nearby. As they launched into space, the station's lights grew smaller behind them. Ethan stared at the stars. They'll follow us, won't they? Yes, Larea said. But now Earth knows, and you're not alone anymore. Aisha smiled. You just became the most protected human in the galaxy. Ethan took a deep breath. He hadn't asked for any of this. But now he had a mission, not just to protect his DNA, but to understand it and decide what to do with it. The stars outside the small ship looked calm, but inside, Ethan Cole's heart was racing. He sat across from Larea and Aisha, both of them focused on the blinking screen in front of them. Earth Command had received the transmission. Now they were decoding something even bigger, the message inside Ethan's DNA. What if this is all a mistake? Ethan asked, breaking the silence. What if I'm not the key they think I am? Larea looked at him with calm eyes. You are not a mistake. The code inside you is not random, it's ancient, and it was hidden for a reason. Aisha turned the screen toward Ethan. We found something strange. Your DNA contains sequences that match no known species, not even ancient records. But when we ran a pattern test, it formed a structure. Ethan leaned in. On the screen was a shape that looked like a spiral, glowing softly. That's not a gene, he said. That looks like a symbol. It is, Aisha said. A symbol repeated across different parts of your genome. It's like a puzzle hidden inside your body. Larea added, this is more than just biology. It's a message, encoded in the building blocks of life. Can we read it? Ethan asked. We're trying, Aisha replied. But it's not written in any single language. It changes, it adapts. Ethan leaned back, shocked. The message is alive? In a way, Larea said. It responds to energy, thought patterns, and even your emotions. Wait, emotions? Ethan asked. Yes, she said. The creators were not just scientists. They believed emotion and logic should exist together. Your body may be the last vessel that understands this balance. Ethan sat quietly for a moment. Then, what does the message say? Aisha looked at the latest translation. Her voice became soft. It says, we are the first flame. We gave light to the void. If you hold this code, then life has survived. The chain is not broken. Ethan blinked. That sounds like a greeting or a signal. Larea nodded. A signal to others, to anyone who carries the first flame. Suddenly, the ship's alert system beeped. Aisha checked the radar. A vessel is approaching. Fast. Council ship? Ethan asked. No, Aisha said. Unknown design. No ID signal. Larea stood up. Prepare to move. If they know you carry the message, they'll try to take you again. But before they could escape, the unknown vessel locked onto them. A beam of energy surrounded their ship, freezing it in space. A voice came through the speakers. It was deep, cold and calm. Ethan Cole, You are carrying unauthorized information. Release it or be neutralized. Ethan stood slowly. Who are you? We are the Null Order, the voice replied. We silence what should remain silent, Aisha whispered. I've heard of them. A secret group that believes the ancient message is dangerous. They want to stop it from spreading. Larea stepped forward. We cannot let them take him, the voice spoke again. You do not understand the power you hold. That message could awaken things better left asleep. Ethan frowned. Or maybe it could bring peace. Unity. Peace? The voice laughed. Every time someone unlocks that code, civilizations fall. We're protecting you. From yourself. The beam around their ship grew stronger. Lights flickered. Systems started to fail. We're losing power, Aisha warned. Ethan made a choice. Let me try something, he said, walking to the center of the ship. He sat down, closed his eyes, and focused. The symbol in his DNA, the first flame, was not just a message. It was something more. It responded to emotion, energy, and intention. He thought of Earth, of his first day on the station, of Larea's kindness, of Aisha's loyalty, of hope. Then the ship pulsed. A warm light came from Ethan's chest, filling the room. It was soft but strong. The computers lit up again. The freezing beam broke. Outside, the enemy ship shook. What's happening? Aisha asked. The message is answering him, Larea said. It's waking up. Then Ethan's voice changed. It echoed with something ancient. We are the children of stars. We do not hide. We remember. The enemy ship vanished. No explosion, no noise. Just gone. Silence filled the cabin. Ethan opened his eyes slowly. What? What just happened? He asked, confused. You sent them a reply, Larea said, but not in words, in truth. Aisha smiled. Whatever the first flame is, you just reminded the galaxy it's still burning. Ethan leaned back in the chair, tired but calm. I think I'm starting to understand, he said. The ship floated quietly in space, just beyond the edge of the Harmony Reach station. Ethan Cole sat near the window, looking out at the stars. His heartbeat was calm now, but his mind was racing. So much had happened. A simple study mission had turned into a galaxy-wide mystery, and now he carried something far greater than he had ever imagined. The first flame, a living message hidden inside his DNA. Larea stood nearby, watching the readings on the console. The energy that came from you, she said, wasn't just power. It was history, memory, connection. Aisha nodded, tapping a few keys. It reached beyond this ship. We're getting signals, across systems. It's like others heard it too. Others? Ethan asked, turning around. Larea smiled softly. You're not the only one with traces of the ancient code, but you are the first to awaken it. Now those connected to the first flame are waking up too. Ethan's eyes widened. So I've started something? Yes, she said. And it's only the beginning. Just then a soft tone echoed through the ship. A secure message appeared on the screen, from Earth Command. Ethan Cole. The Council requests an emergency meeting. Multiple civilizations have received an unknown signal. They believe you are the source. We need answers. Aisha looked at Ethan. You're about to speak for an entire planet, maybe more. Ethan stood, took a deep breath and nodded. Then let's go. I'm done running. The council hall was larger than any room Ethan had ever seen. Floating above a peaceful planet, it was surrounded by glass windows showing distant galaxies. Leaders from dozens of species sat in silence, waiting. When Ethan stepped forward, all eyes turned to him. The grand speaker, a tall, owl-like alien, leaned forward. Human Ethan Cole, you carry the first flame. What is your purpose? Ethan didn't speak at first. He looked around the room. So many different faces, shapes, and colors. So many histories. So many fears. Then he spoke, slowly, clearly. I didn't ask for this. I didn't know what I carried, but now I do. The first flame is not a weapon. It's not a tool for control. It's a reminder. A reminder of what? Asked another, council member. That we came from the same source, Ethan said. That we are connected, that the oldest truth in the galaxy isn't power, it's life, it's unity. The room was silent. Ethan continued. We've been afraid of the message because we didn't understand it. But the flame doesn't want war. It wants peace. It wants us to remember where we came from and where we can go. One of the leaders leaned forward. And how can we trust that? How can we be sure the message is safe? Ethan didn't answer with words. He simply closed his eyes. A warm light spread from his body, just like before. But this time it didn't push or burn. It welcomed. Gentle waves of light touched each person in the room. For a moment, they all felt something shared. A memory not from one species but from all. Stars forming. Planets growing. Life beginning. When the light faded, many council members were in tears. The Grand Speaker stood slowly. We remember. For the first time, we all remember. Loraya stepped forward. The decision is now yours. Ethan has given you the truth. What you do with it will shape the galaxy, the council whispered among themselves. After a few minutes, they turned back to Ethan. We accept the message, the Grand Speaker said. And we ask, will you guide us forward? Ethan was quiet for a long moment. Then he smiled. Yes, but not as a ruler, as a friend, as one of many. Weeks passed. News spread across the galaxy. The first flame was real, and it lived inside more than one person. Those, with traces of the ancient code, were now protected and welcomed. New councils were formed. Old wars stopped. People began to speak, share, and understand. Ethan returned to Harmony Reach, now a center for peaceful research and unity. He sat with Loraya and Aisha on a balcony, watching the stars. Do you think the creators are still out there? He asked. Loraya looked up. Maybe, or maybe they became something more. Aisha smiled. Either way, they left us a gift, and we finally opened it. Ethan nodded. My first date turned into a galaxy-sized mission. But I'm glad I didn't run away, Loraya laughed. And to think, you were nervous about dinner. They all laughed. Then Ethan looked at the stars again. The galaxy was still big, still dangerous. But now, it had hope. And somewhere out there, the first flame still burned, brighter than ever.